It's big, it's not too heavy. What's happening, everyone? Welcome back to the workshop. I hope you're all doing well. Now I'm back making planters again. It's that time of the year. It's time to start growing stuff, and this one is for vegetables and herbs and all that good stuff. So this is a raised bed vegetable trough. So you can see it kind of has a V shape to it. So it's a deeper in the middle than it is on the outside. So you can put your deep root vegetables all down the center and start moving out to shallower and shallower soil for herbs and stuff like that. So you can put multiple varieties of different types of vegetables and herbs in this, and you can put it into any space. So if you don't have any garden to plant some vegetables, you can make yourself one of these. It's extremely easy. So I designed this to be super simple to make, understanding that people who might watch this video might not necessarily be into woodworking or making things. You might be into vegetable growing and gardening, and if you haven't too many tools, you will be able to make yourself one of these, no problem. It's just all 45-degree cuts. It's a super simple frame, and it's just screwed together, so there's no joinery. It's extremely strong. It's nice and lightweight, before you put the soil in it, that is. So two people will be able to move this one. And like I said, the design is adaptable to fit any size, so you can make this any size you want. Another nice thing, it's raised up. So if you have a bad back, maybe you're struggling with the gardening, it's nice, and it's a working height here. So again, you can make it as high and as low as you want to have a nice working height to get all your vegetables grown. So without further ado, let's get on and build this vegetable trough. Okay, so let's crack on with our vegetable trough. Now let's take a quick look at what we're going to be using here. So for the legs of the trough, I'm going to be using 4x2s. This is pressure treated 4x2s. This will be in contact with the ground, and I want it weather protected. It's not going to be in contact with the soil, so I'm going to use pressure treated for that. For the main body of the trough, it's going to be 7x1 rough timber. This is not prepared timber, so it's a nice cheap option to go with. This is just standard. There's no treatment on this timber whatsoever, so this is going to be in contact with our soil. So it's not a good idea if you're making raised beds for vegetables to use pressure treated timber, because the pressure treatment chemicals can leach into the soil, and you don't want that in your vegetables. So just use plain timber. It's not going to last as long, but that's the sacrifice we're going to make. We don't want that in our soil. We don't want any chemicals in our soil if we can avoid it. So pressure treatment for the legs, standard timber for the main body of our trough. Now, first thing we want to do is cut our legs, and it's going to be nice and simple. It's just 45-degree angles, so there's nothing complex about this, and it's very easy to assemble. So let's get on and cut our legs. Okay, so I'm set up to do my 45-degree cuts. This is going to be nice, quick and easy. So I have a stop block set up down here. The total length of my legs are going to be 1275 millimeters. I'll show you how I came up with that measurement now in a minute. When we're assembling, it'll all make sense. So just 2 cuts, run it against a stop block, cut 6 of these, nice, quick and easy. Let's do it. Okay, all 6 legs are cut now, so it's going to stand just like that. So you have a 45 here, and we have a 45 on top running in this direction, and it's 1275 millimeters from this outside edge to this inside edge here. And again, I'll show you as we're assembling how that measurement was achieved. Now, we're going to assemble these, and this is extremely simple. We're just going to screw these together. You could do a cross halving joint here if you want to. I'll give you a look at that now in a second, but let's get these together, and I'm going to show you how it's done. It's nice, quick and simple. Okay, in order to assemble these, I am literally just going to screw these together. Like I said, this is going to be a super simple build. Now, you could do a cross halving joint here, where you set the 2 pieces in against each other. If you want to do that, and you can do that, and you have the tools and you have the skills to do it, by all means go ahead and do that. It'll be a nice strong joint, and you can use some wood glue and some screws, or you can drive some coach bolts through this, or some nuts, bolts and washers to assemble this as well. I'm going to be using screws to keep it nice and simple. Now, to line everything up, just take a board, stand both feet against it, and you can line them up like that. Now, my measurement from the bottom of my foot here to where I want the two of these pieces to cross is 450 millimeters. I'm not joining them as an X in the center like that, so it'll be a perfect equal cross. I'm going to keep these like this, so the base is not going to be too wide and it's not going to be too tall. If I was to join both of these in the center like this, my whole frame would be extremely tall in order to get the same volume in the planter. So we're going to keep it down here just like that, and that's how we're going to join them. Now I'll zoom back out again and I'll assemble this and I'll show you how I'm going to do it. Okay, let's get these legs together. Now this is extremely easy. We're going to use this board here to help us out and to keep our two legs perfectly flat, so keep our 45s flat on the floor. Just imagine this is your ground here now. So I have my line here at 45, so I'm just going to line that up. I have my square here, so I'm just going to use my square to line up my piece. Now, in order to stop this one rocking up and down, we just take another board, slip that in underneath there. That's everything supported, and you essentially now just made yourself a nice little jig for assembling this. So get that up to our line there, right at 45. Sure our board is pressed against it. Get our square up against that, get everything nice and lined up. Now there we go, good and ready to go. Everything is nice and lined up. So I'm going to be using some 6x80 millimeter screws, so they're quite big, heavy duty screws. These riser cutter screws, and we don't need to pre-drill with these, which is nice. They will just cut straight through this timber without splitting it. So again, just check, make sure everything is lined up, and I'm going to put 5 screws in this. So let's go. Let's get our first screw in, make sure everything is still good to go, nothing is moved. Everything is still nice, square and true, which it is. This is exactly what we want. We might have just a little bit of adjustment to do there. We are still good, okay. And drive this screw home now. Okay, so there's one of our frames assembled, nice, quick and easy. So just square with 1 screw in the middle, so 5 screws to hold this together. Keep my square up against it at my mark at 450, ensuring that both feet are against my board, which is just representing my ground, so it's a nice little handy jig. Screw it together and away you go, and that is good and solid and nice and easy to make. So I get on and make 2 more of these now, so we have 3 frames in total, or 3 legs to make in total, and when I have those screwed together, we'll jump back in. Okay guys, there's our 3 legs, essentially our frame and legs all in one, so nice, quick and easy to make. Now, the dimensions of this, I'm going to make mine 2 meters long, but you make yours to suit whatever space you have and whatever size you need. This approach is adaptable to any size. Now, how did I come up with the length of my legs? It's nice and simple. From here, where these 2 boards meet, I'm going to need 4 boards in width, so 4 of my 7x1s, so I just measured that here and then allowed whatever I needed for extra for the leg so that I arrive at this height here. So you're going to make your one to suit your height again. Bearing in mind how wide this is, you want to be able to make sure that you can reach in to the middle to work on it. So obviously you can adapt this X frame. You can narrow it down, you can raise it up, you can make it narrower or wider, whatever length you need. So whatever boards you're using for your side, that's your measurement here. Allow then for the rest for your leg, which will give you your height, and then you can allow wherever way you join these together to either widen it or narrow it. But again, remember, the wider you make it, the harder it's going to be to reach the middle. So just make it to suit you and your space. So next thing I want to get on now is cut all the boards to make up the sides of my trough, and they're going to be exactly 2 meters long, so nice and simple. Let's get on and cut those. Okay, so 4 boards each side, so that's 8 boards in total. So I'm going to start off a little bit of a different approach here. I want to put a truing cut in the end of the boards, because when you buy boards, they're never quite squared off at the end, so I want to put a truing cut in them first. Now, because they're 2 meters in length, I can't then set up my stop block, so I have to put a truing cut in all 8 boards first, then set up my stop block, run the true end against my stop block, and chop all 8 boards. So truing cut in all 8 boards first, then run them against the stop block. Let's get on and do it. Okay, I have all the boards cut. I'm just going to screw them in place. I'll just give you a quick explanation and a close-up on this. You could just set your board down into the angle like this and let the other one rest against it, but you're going to lose the width of this board off the length of this board, if you know what I mean, or the thickness of this board off the width of this board. So you're losing about 1 inch here. So you would have to allow for that in the making of your frame, and you would have to cut your final board on this side 1 inch narrower, so you'd have to rip 1 inch off this, which is, you know, we're trying to keep this as simple as possible. So what I'm going to do is just let both corners touch just like that, rather than have one board sit under the other board. That way we don't have to rip any of these down, and they'll end up in the exact same spot when we get to the top of our frame, if that makes sense. So we're not going to let one board sit down and the other board sit on top of it, because we will lose 1 inch off to the board that's underneath instead. So that the 2 corners come together like that, and we'll screw this all together. Okay, so I have the bottom boards in, lined up just as I explained. 2 screws per board, space the legs equally, so these ones are in the center, and just have a small overhang either end. However much you want to leave that, it's up to you. Then just check with a level, make sure everything is nice and plumb, which it is, and drive your screws home. Now, get some help doing this part, because legs falling over and trying to line everything up on your own is quite difficult. You will get quite frustrated doing it. So a second person is definitely beneficial at this stage. But once you get the 2 bottom boards in, it's pretty much plain sailing from here. So they're all good, plumb, and even gaps the whole way up. So we can just continue now to drop in our boards, line everything up, and screw everything home. Okay guys, there we go. Our frame is all assembled now, so the trough is almost ready, so it's good and solid. Once you screw everything together, it's extremely strong, and like I said, it's nice and quick and simple to build. Now, I've just been and cut a couple of 2x2s to go into the end here. I ripped down a 4x2 to get them. If you don't have a table saw, then just use a 4x2 and just screw it in here. This is just going to be an extra bit of frame to screw the ends on. So we're going to make up the ends now, and that's again just a bunch of 45-degree cuts from the leftovers from our 7x1s. So let's get on and do that. We'll get the ends on. Okay, so I have our frame pieces screwed in place, and this is just going to give me something to screw the end boards to, rather than driving screws into end grain where you can split the timber and it's not going to be very strong. We can use this to screw on our end boards to. So I'm just going to use relative measurement here. It's nice, quick and simple. Rather than trying to measure all these pieces, I'm just going to cut a 45 on one piece of a board. I'm just going to hold it up there. Just feel that all my edges are lining up perfectly. Line it up at the bottom, and then just scribe a line on the inside and go and cut that on the miter saw, and do that the whole way up. And yeah, just screw these in place. It's nice and simple. No need to use a measuring tape. Cut a 45 and just scribe your other line, and all your pieces will be right. And then once your first board is cut and in place, it's pretty much plain sailing from there. Just make sure you line up all your edges. Drop your next board in place, scribe your line, and away you go. Okay, there is our end in place. Now, one thing I will point out is when you're cutting one, cut two. So once you've measured one, cut both of them at the same time, then you have one for the other side as well, and it makes it so quick and easy. You're not using a measuring tape, you're using relative measurement from your piece, and it's nice and fast. Another probably best approach to do this is to start from the top and work your way down, just in case you get anything wrong at the bottom and you're sitting slightly proud at the top. At least you have a reference point at the top that you can work down from, and it doesn't matter if it overhangs slightly at the bottom, that's not going to be seen, but if it overhangs slightly at the top, you'll have to plane that back. So start from the top, work your way down, and cut two boards at once, and you'll have this on in 5 minutes. Okay, so our trough is almost assembled. Now I'm going to use a porous liner for my trough. This is up to you whether you decide to do this or not. I have heard some people say they don't want to put any plastic of any form inside in there where they grow their vegetables. Again, I've not seen any evidence that any plastic leaks from these particular liners. I have seen some evidence of using pressure treated timber, that the pressure treatment, the chemicals used can leach into the soil. I've not seen anything that suggests that anything leaks from the plastic into the soil, but I will leave that up to you guys. This is not my area of expertise, so you do your own research, you do what you feel comfortable with. I'm going to use this porous liner to line mine. It'll just help protect the wood a little bit. You can put the soil directly on in, but the wood is not going to last nearly as long. Now, because I joined the wood corner to corner at the bottom, and this rough cut stuff, it hasn't got a very straight edge, there is a gap all the way along the bottom to leave any excess water drain out. And like I said, this is a porous fabric as well. So I'm going to line mine with this. If you guys want to do that or not, don't want to do that, I will leave that up to you. So crack on. Okay, it's 1 meter wide, this stuff, so I've rolled one down this side, one down this side, let it over the edge and just cut it off. And I can trim it back later. So I'm going to put a frame around the top of this now to hold it in place, and then I can trim it back around the frame. Okay, so I've just screwed a 2x2 batten on the inside, both top and bottom, and the reason for that is twofold. One, it's going to hold my liner in place, and second, it's going to be an extra frame support for my mitered frame that I'm going to put around the top of this now. So again, it's just 45-degree cuts. I'm going to use up the rest of the 7x1 for the top. This will give me a nice wide shelf that will be supported all the way around. It'll be handy for leaving little planting pots, that kind of thing, when you're doing some planting, or your gardening tools. You can leave them here beside you when you're putting your vegetables in, and hopefully when they're all done, taking them back out again. So it's just a case of screw on a miter frame around the top of this and trim up the liner, and we're almost ready to go. Okay guys, so there we go, the miter frame is on the top. I've trimmed up all the felt and I've just hit it with some 60 grit sandpaper just to take the splinters off it, to roll over those edges so there's no sharp edges. So it's actually nice to lean on this and to use it as a shelf. You're not going to get splinters in your hand. Now, I have another motive as well for leaving such a wide miter frame on top. In an upcoming video, I'm going to make a polytunnel cover for this that will be hinged, that you can lift on and off, so you can continue to grow stuff throughout the winter as well. So that will be a later video. I might paint it. I haven't decided on the colour yet, so if I do decide to paint it, I'll be sure to share some pictures on Instagram, and you might even see it painted when I decide to add the polytunnel top to it as well. But the frame itself is all ready to go now, so, and it's still pretty light for what it is. It's quite big, but 2 people could lift this no problem. Obviously, when all the soil and compost goes in it, you're not going to be able to lift it, so get it in position, then fill it up. But it's pretty big and it's not overly heavy. So yeah, we're just there. Okay, so there we go guys, one raised bed slash vegetable trough all finished up, ready to go out in the garden, ready to fill with soil and ready to get some lovely vegetables into this. So hopefully you've enjoyed it guys, and hopefully you've got something out of it. If you have, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up, and if you're new here thinking about subscribing, comments and questions below, I will get back to everybody in there. Again, I kept it as simple and as basic as I possibly could, understanding the fact that people who click on this video might just be into gardening and not necessarily into making stuff. So if you're not a carpenter, or if you don't have any skills in making things, you will be able to have a go at making this. Again, it's just 45-degree cuts, screws and a screw gun, and you can have this together in a day. And you can make it any size you want to fit your space. So you can downsize it, upsize it, adapt the size to your garden. So yeah, that's it guys. I'm going to get out of here now. Again, hopefully you've enjoyed this video and hopefully it's been useful to you. So until the next one, when I'm making the polytunnel cover, I shall see you then. Take it easy.